Hallo, herzlich willkommen zur 20. Folge von Suzerain zusammen mit Apfel.
Hallo.
Heute werden wir erstmal hier was unterschreiben. Stability Order of 1954. An investigation on the influence of the Young Souls and Red Youth organizations on the post-assassination unrest has concluded. Both organizations haven't officially organized or called for illegal actions, but several low to mid-level leaders from both have links to insightful actions that led to deaths, injuries, and instability. This allows us to ban the organizations.
Ui, ui, ui.
Don't ban, würde ich sagen. Das ist nicht
Nö.
keine gute Idee, glaube ich.
Oh, hey, Railway fast zur Hälfte durch.
Ja.
Unsere Straße letztes Mal war jetzt zu 0,5% beendet.
Finalization of the Drafted Constitutional. Ich habe nicht weitergelesen, weil ich dachte, es steht noch.
Ach, ist das gar nicht das Budget-Meeting?
Nee, noch nicht.
Oh.
I was walking to my office, since today was the day to edit and make the final changes for the proposal to change the constitution of Scotland. The Reform Committee finally bore tangible results, and the draft of the changes were about to be presented to me. I walked to the marble corridors of the palace, thinking about the huge decisions I was going to take. At the entrance to my office, my secretary, Lavia, greeted me.
War ich, oder?
Nee, war ich.
Nee,
Lavia war ich.
Okay.
Good morning, Mr. President. Good morning, Lavia. How are you today, sir? I'm perfectly fine. Das ist alles, was du wissen musst, Spion. Good to hear. She paused before taking my coat. It looked like she had something on her mind. Oh, no. Mr. Rainey, can you give me a hint about your reform plans? If you ask me, taking away the judge's immunity is long overdue, but it might anger a lot of people in these halls. You'll find out with the rest of Scotland, sweetheart. I'll take that into consideration. Nothing's been decided yet. That's none of your business, Labia. Ja, 1.
Ja.
Du wirst es mit den anderen herausfinden. Understood. I'll take your coat now. Lavia left to hang up my coat. I entered my office and sat down. Not long after, Peter, Lucian, and Nia arrived.
Finally.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Mr. President. Good morning. Time to finally get this proposal going.
Peter placed the draft in front of me. After your modifications, we will be starting to process. Ja, let's start.
Ja.
Gehen wir schnell durch. Oh Gott. Section 1. Presidential vetoes. According to Article 77 and 82, the President may veto a bill by returning it to the Assembly with a written statement. The articles do not contain any information on how to override a veto. As a consequence, the President has an absolute veto power that cannot be overridden by the Grand National Assembly under any circumstance. Remove vetoes, limit vetoes. Ja, ich würde limit sagen.
Ja.
Constitutional amendment process. According to Article 5 of the Constitution, an amendment may be proposed by members of the Assembly. Mein Gott. with at least 150 signatures. A 2/3 majority vote in the Grand National Assembly and a simple majority vote in the Supreme Court is required for the amendment. As a consequence, the Supreme Court, which is not part of the elected legislative branch, has enormous power in the amendment process. Remove Supreme Court's power. Impeachment process. According to Article 17, the President of Scotland is not responsible for the actions performed in the exercise of presidential duties, except in the case of high treason or violation of the Constitution. In such cases, the President may be impeached by the Supreme Court in joint session with an absolute majority of its members. Therefore, the impeachment process only includes the Supreme Court, and it gives them the great power over the executive. The Assembly and the Supreme Court.
Ja.
According to the Constitution, the President appoints the ministers to the Council of Ministers. Okay. From elected members of the Assembly. This requires no confidence vote from the Grand National Assembly. Das change mir nichts.
Nö.
Electoral threshold. According to Article 50, a political party needs a minimum of 10% of the total national vote to win seats in the Grand National Assembly. The votes of the parties who pass the threshold are redistributed proportionally, meaning USP, which currently holds the lead, would be the main beneficiary.
Uiuiui.
Ich finde 10% sind in Ordnung.
Ja, definitiv.
Presidential decrees. According to Article 18 and 51, the President is able to issue decrees on political, social and economic issues that would carry the force of law. They could not contradict the Constitution and are subject to judicial review. Therefore, the President may issue decrees in many subjects without going through the Grand National Assembly. However, the Assembly may pass legislation on the same subject to override presidential decrees. Decree require an enabling act. Remove decrees. Das ist jetzt, ja, eine gute Frage, ne?
Ja.
Ja.
1 oder 3.
Wir können nicht nochmal eins nicht changen, oder?
Ja, dann 1. Also komplett wegnehmen wäre dumm. Dann wäre 1.
President will not be able to issue decrees that would carry the force of law without an enabling act from the Grand National Assembly.
Gut, wie viel? Boah. Ha.
Ja, machen wir so. According to the Constitution, the President shall be elected for 4 years. However, there is no mention of a term limit, allowing one individual to be able to be elected as and serve as president without limits. Ja, ist mir egal. Mach mal. Immunity of justice. The Constitution gives the justices of the Supreme Court total immunity and describes no procedure of impeachment, making them untouchable by the other branches of government. Judges can be impeached by the Assembly. Honorary membership of Tarkin Sol. Article 99 of the Constitution defines the Member of Honor title, its appointment procedure, as well as the rights their members may exercise. A Member of Honor has absolute immunity and is considered to be a permanent member of the Grand National Assembly. They are given control of their own personal security team provided by the state's presidential guards. A member is also ineligible to live in a special private residence provided by the state for free. The only person who holds the title is Tarkin Sol.
Huh. Ja, Absolute Immunity ist ja nicht geil.
Nee.
Man macht ja Scheiß und kommt damit davon. Und das ist halt.
Man kann auch nicht sagen, dass jeder Präsident werden soll, weil dann wäre es Alfonso auch.
Ja.
Dann.
Ja, dann müssten wir das.
You're about to make constitutional changes to Swordland. Are you sure about your decisions? Yes. After I made the final changes for the proposal, I showed it to my team. They read the changes and discussed it amongst themselves. Lucian spoke afterwards. Looks like the amendments are ready to be proposed.
But I have to but I have to say this too. Not reforming the minister laws will be frowned upon by the party. The assembly members have insisted on getting involved in the process.
That's true. It will be tough to get all their support. Some of our members may try to openly fight against this.
Huh.
3. I'm prepared to reconsider. We will all do our best to make it work, sir. Any other comments before we proceed?
I will say that I do not agree with the new law that gives the Assembly the power to impeach the judges of the Supreme Court. I'm also against the Chief Justice and his obstructionist behavior. But even if we get rid of all of them, the new judges will be less independent with this law. They will be scared to go against the administration when it's needed.
Ja, ohne kriegen wir sie nicht weg.
Yeah. They need their protection due to their job. Otherwise, the new ones will be pawns just like Sol's old god. But it's more important that we get rid of the old gods, Miss Morgner. After the obstacles are gone, we can strive to make it better. However,
He turned to me.
you have to be careful, Anton. I'm sure you will be fine, but with all that's happening out there, we need to prepare against these threats, so one way or the other.
I appreciate the feedback, Peter. Well, I think we can proceed now.
I will personally work on the wording of this proposal with my hand-picked legal experts. Schön nochmal reinbringen, dass du sie selbst ausgesucht hast.
With Miss Morgana's reputation as the most experienced attorney, this proposal will be bulletproof. Chief Justice also will have a hard time convincing others to oppose it.
In the meantime, you must introduce this proposal to our party. You will need to get them to back us if we want it to pass the assembly.
Sir, I advise you to first talk to the leaders of both conservative and reformist wings of the party.
As far as I'm aware, Mr. Clavin supports the reforms already. Miss Tory will be the real problem. She became the real heavyweight after we left for the executive.
Any advice in regards to dealing with them?
Yeah.
As Mr. Recton said, Mr. Clavin will probably be easier to persuade. We need to unite the party under this, so his support is vital. Miss Gloria will be tougher to break. The problem is that she is capable of turning the moderates and the conservatives against us. As much as I don't want to say this, if she makes demands to change the proposal, you may need to give in. Thanks for the advice. Wish you good luck with the party, sir. I think we can end the meeting here. We all shook hands, and they left the room.
Okay.
Was haben wir nächste Folge? Dinner with the Business Council Members. Gut. Dann war's mit der Folge. Lasst uns ein Like und ein Abo da, wenn es euch gefallen hat. Schaut beim nächsten Mal wieder vorbei und tschüss.
Tschüss.